YouTube? It's your boy AT here, and we back again with another video. Okay, y'all. So I know it's been a week since I did my last other videos and stuff like that. If y'all not up to date, I went on vacation to Savannah. If you haven't seen the videos, the link will be down in the description box down below, so y'all could see the videos and stuff. So, or it's on my bio page. Y'all can get to it. But anyways, yeah. We went to Savannah for her birthday. I had a good time. And yeah. But if y'all can't tell already, I shaved. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I shaved my face. But yeah. So this video is about, my body transformations that I've had throughout, throughout the years, like high school, bits and pieces of college and stuff like that. It's gonna be basically about the transformations I had throughout the course of the year. So, first off, I'm gonna go over a little bit of details. I've been skinny for majority of my life, ever since I was a little kid. Now, I don't have old pictures of me being shirtless, but I was skinny. Okay, I was one of those kids that that couldn't, put on a whole lot of weight, you know what I'm saying? And so it was very difficult for me. And another thing too is I wasn't eating like I should have. And in a way I just, and I feel like it was kind of good because it kept me from getting fat, you know what I'm saying? And so also I feel like I may have suffered from many different types of things. I think I may have suffered from I'm trying to think what the other thing is called. I think it was called um IBS or something like that. Something like that. I can't remember the name of it. See, I forgot the name of what it was called, but um, it was something like that. That my I have to go, check with my doctor to see if that's what I'm suffering from. But I wasn't gaining a whole lot of weight. My stomach will always hurt every time I would this happened to me ever since I was born. I've had trouble, digesting food and stuff like that. And I've had like a lot of stomach issues growing up. And so yeah, it was very difficult. And yeah. So let's talk about the transformation. I know y'all want me to go into the meats and potatoes of everything. So first off, now I'm gonna show you a picture real fast. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show you a picture real quick. Okay, y'all. Now, as y'all can see, that was the picture from when I was 16 years old. Now, I know I look way younger than that. It's not really a surprise because a lot of people in my family, what I'm saying, tend to look way younger than what they actually are. And some people have lived well beyond their 90s and hundreds. So yeah, my thing is this, guys. On that picture, I was very skinny. I'm not gonna lie. Actually, no, I didn't just come out of ninth grade. It was actually, I was getting out of 10th grade. I was getting out of 10th grade. And for a while now, I was athletic, you know what I'm saying? I was lean. Y'all could see the six pack, you know what I'm saying? Y'all could see everything else coming in. I'm gonna go into a little bit of details about it in a minute. Um, my chest was you can see the separation, my chest coming in. I was really skinny, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have like muscles all over my arms or anything. My shoulders were getting kind of broad then as well, and they're getting kind of, you know, big or whatever, but it wasn't at the level as it is now. You know what I'm saying? Which we're gonna get into the other pictures in a moment. But yeah, it was very difficult for me to gain weight during that time because I couldn't, you know, put on size like I should. And another thing to be that I want to keep in consideration too is I was allergic to a lot of stuff then. You know what I'm saying? I was allergic to, you know, and I'm still allergic to things now. I'm allergic to, you know, different types of shelled fish, peanuts, and all types of stuff. So I have to be careful on the types of things that I eat. So it's very difficult for me to gain weight as well. You know what I'm saying? I had stomach problems as a kid, and as I grew up, I started having problems, you know, eating certain types of foods, and I still have, you know, problems eating certain types of foods now that I'm an adult now. And so it's very difficult for me to, you know, navigate everything in getting bigger. So it's very difficult. I did find alternatives, which I'll get to in a moment. But yeah, going into the picture, going into everything. So when y'all first see me in that picture, when y'all first see me in that picture, um, and I didn't go into specifics. So years ago, on that picture, before that picture, I was running around. You know what I'm saying? I got in shape. I was running. I was doing a whole bunch of sit ups and push ups, and that's what contributed to me getting my a good physique like that. But I didn't tell y'all it. You know, I had abs way before that picture was taken. You know what I'm saying? My abs have been around for a long time, and so way before I took that picture, I actually had abs when I was 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? So I've had abs for a while. You know what I'm saying? For a long time. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't even training. It just happened all of a sudden. Like abs just popped out of nowhere when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? It didn't even it just came out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even train my abs and it magically just popped out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying because I was skinny. You know what I'm saying? I was skinny and lean and I did exercises, you know, when I was a kid, but it wasn't as the level of exercises that I'm doing now. So, anyways, let me get to and you know, let me what I was doing then because what I didn't tell y'all is that what I was doing then before I got to 10th grade, what I was doing was I was doing a whole bunch of sit-ups and push-ups each and every, you know, session with my Pete well not in the gym. I would do that. You know what I'm saying? It was always in the basketball court gym. You know what I'm saying? It was always in that area. I would do push ups, I would do sit ups, and you know, I would do, you know, jumping jacks and all that type of stuff. It was we didn't do all the basic things. We didn't do all of the basic things that we did like I did when I was in elementary school and middle school, because we would do all that in middle school, but in elementary school it's quite different because you had the seniors, the juniors, and the sophomores, and it was all together. And for those who've been to high school, y'all get it. Everything is combined together, so into one class. And so I didn't know high school was going to be like that during that time period, because during that time period I didn't know. But and this was like during that time. But anyways, we're not talking about that. All right. But I was doing that stuff then. That's what contributed it to me looking like that. You know what I'm saying? So, my abs, they're up to par though. They're really up to par. And what I wanted to tell you guys about my abs is that my abs were slowly forming into an 8 pack. You know what I'm saying? I didn't tell you guys this, but it was forming into an 8 pack. And if you look at the very top of it, of my ab muscle, like this area right here, like I'll show you this. If you look at that top right there, that top portion underneath my chest, it was trying to form the 8 pack. It was trying to push all the other abs underneath me down. It was trying to push it down so it could form into an 8 pack and shrink all the other, you know, muscles underneath so it can fit in, so it can be symmetrical and perfect. You know what I'm saying? It was trying to do all that during that time. And when you work out, you start to see subtle changes. And it didn't start forming until like I got out of middle school, going straight into high school. It didn't start forming until then. You know what I'm saying? And so it was during middle school. It was towards the very end of middle school, in the beginning of high school, when everything was forming. You know what I'm saying? My abs were starting to form. You know what I'm saying? It was trying to turn into an 8 pack, and so I came so close to gaining an 8 pack. You know what I'm saying? you know, and I could still get an 8 pack even now. I could still gain the 8 pack now if I train my abs even harder. You know what I'm saying? To gain my full core in. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how I got my abs looking the way it was looking. I was exercising, and I stopped for a while because I wasn't going to PE. However, during that time, during the picture that it was taken, because it was taken, that picture was taken, I believe it was like winter time or springtime of 2019. I don't know why I said 18. It was 2019. I was 16 on that picture. It was somewhere in the middle when I was taking when that picture was taken. Um, it'll be up here right there. I pinned the actual date of when it was taken, but that's when it was taken. Okay. Um, it was taken during that time period, and I was doing during that time period. I was doing track. I was running. I was sprinting. I didn't go far with track though. You know what I'm saying? I could have done it earlier, because when I was doing earlier, when I was a freshman, I was way more skinnier. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't thinking like I am now. Cause my thing is, I didn't tell you guys, but my thinking was, when I was a kid, I was doing I was doing wrestling. I wasn't good at that. Some of y'all that were at wrestling, some of y'all that trained with me know that I wasn't good at wrestling. You know what I'm saying? I was bad at that. You know what I'm saying? And I never really competed. You know what I'm saying? During that time period. So some of y'all that were there with me know that I didn't compete in wrestling. You know what I'm saying? I didn't compete, and so it was just the movements and stuff like that. So I was getting even smaller then though. You know what I'm saying? It was very hard for me to put on size and put on weight. You know what I'm saying? And so my doctor told me it wasn't a good idea for me to even consider to do wrestling. But the reason why I wanted to do it was because I wanted to gain more strength, so I can do so I could potentially join the football team. You know what I'm saying, in the future, and do track and do all that. But I wasn't good at wrestling. You know what I'm saying? And so I wanted to gain strength and all that stuff, combine track and wrestling together, so I could do football. That's what I was planning on doing. You know what I'm saying? So I can gain my strength to tackle people. I can gain more speed to catch people. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how I was thinking then. But it was very difficult. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't gain that full leverage that I didn't that I did during that time period. It was very difficult. You know what I'm saying? And so I that was my whole thinking then. Um but I didn't I didn't take into consideration that I wasn't good at that. So I was doing track later on, and so it contributed to me working hard. So yeah, I was very skinny on there. I was around 125 through 128 on that picture. I was somewhere around the 20s or whatever. I was somewhere around, and I know that I was getting to 130 at some point. And so I didn't get into my 30s until after I got into my junior year of school. I didn't get to my 130s. You know what I'm saying? Because my 130s was high enough for me. You know what I'm saying? And so that leads to the and so once I got to the 130s, it was very, very difficult. It was very difficult for me to get to my 130s. Well, it wasn't really difficult, but it was pretty easy because I was already at 128. You know what I'm saying? Because I lost weight, again during that year. You know what I'm saying? Because I was doing wrestling. Remember, I was doing wrestling during 2017 through 28, like part of 2018. I didn't really compete at all during that time because I was bad at that. You know what I'm saying? And so when we got into 2019, when we got into like 2018, I was still skinny. You know what I'm saying? So when I began school again, I was still skinny. I was in my 120s. And so when I got to towards the very end, you know what I'm saying? Because I was 125 during that year, and then during that year I was 125, and I put on extra pounds, got to 128, getting into 130. So I was still skinny then, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, but during junior year, let's go into junior year. During junior year, it took me forever to put on size, okay? And so all through my junior year of school or whatever, it was very difficult to put on size. It was very hard. But all of a sudden, during the fall season, during the fall and winter season, you know what I'm saying? I ate massive amounts of food or whatever. I put on massive amounts of weight or whatever that I wasn't able to gain when I was in when I during other times I was able to gain all that. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't and I was surprised, you know what I'm saying? Because I the thing is I kept on eating and eating and eating, and I had Thanksgiving food, and I had Christmas food, and I was putting on size, you know what I'm saying? And one thing I didn't get to mention was I was eating fast food a little bit too, but I was also eating Mexican food as well. So I was putting on size, and and I had tortilla chips too. So I kept on getting bigger, bigger and bigger after that, and it was just very. From there, it was like I was getting bigger. So I only bulked during that time for a short period of time. It was a short period of time. It was like a test. You know what I'm saying? It was a tiny little test. And so during December, it was when I made when I is when I made well, is when I mainly put on weight. You know what I'm saying? And so I was getting into my 140s. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you how I gained all that weight. And some of y'all may not like how I did this, but I'm gonna explain how I gained all that weight. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I did, okay? And I did this before when I was a little kid, and I don't. My thing is I don't condone people doing this because you probably you're gonna have stomach issues later. You know what I'm saying? But I did it though. You know what I'm saying? I did it because I was trying to get heavy, and you know what I'm saying. I tried to do it again this year, but it was hard for me to do it again. But my thing is, what I did was, after I was done eating all my food, I would focus really hard on my stomach to keep the weight on me, because I didn't want to have to go to the bathroom and do numero dos. I didn't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? And so I told my stomach to hold it in. You know what I'm saying? To hold it in. I was telling myself to hold it in. And so all through that time, I forced myself to hold it in, to hold it and keep on eating, keep on eating. I had to, I had to keep it inside me so it wouldn't come out. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I did. You know what I'm saying? I kept on trying to keep it in me so I can keep on getting bigger. And all through that time, I didn't have weight equipment. I didn't have anything. You know what I'm saying? And so I kept my waist inside me. And so the only way I was able to burn fat was by doing push-ups, and I kept on doing push-ups every day during that time period. I was doing 50 up to 100 push-ups. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I would even do it in a row. And so I got even bigger. My triceps got bigger. My biceps got slightly bigger. I wasn't really training it then because I didn't have the dumbbells that I had now. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I was doing. And so I kept on putting on size and kept on getting big, and it was just difficult. It was very difficult. It was a tiny miniature bulk. And so I gained about around 10 to 12 pounds. You know what I'm saying? I gained roughly around that size. And so my arms got big, my chest got bigger. And in this picture, as you're going to see, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to let y'all see it. But as y'all saw that, you know what I'm saying? that's how I looked. You know what I'm saying? I looked like that. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly how I looked on the picture. You know what I'm saying, that I just showed y'all. And so what I did was I was doing push-ups, doing, I would, and I kept on getting big. It was very hard for me to do sit-ups again, and I was losing my abs. My abs were I lost all my abs, that I worked hard to get all through during that time. You know what I'm saying? And I was really afraid, you know what I'm saying, during that time. And on that picture, I was actually 145 pounds. I was getting up there to 140. I got up to 148 pounds. I didn't get a chance to take a picture of it, but I was 148 pounds. And so I got all the way up to 448 pounds. And I was pushing 150. I could have gotten even bigger had I continued holding in all that weight and doing push-ups and getting bigger. I could have kept on doing that, and and worked out even harder. But if I had the equipment that I had now, guess what? I would be twice my size that I was in high school. But I wanted to do, when I was in high school, I wanted to do the weightlifting type of gym thing. That's what I was trying to sign up for in the beginning of high school. But they put me in PE. They didn't put me in the weightlifting area. I wanted to do the weightlifting. And so I thought, when I said the gym, when I told them the gym, I thought they were gonna put me in the weightlifting thing. And that was when I first began school. They didn't put me there. You know what I'm saying? Somehow all my friends were able to go to the gym, but I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? I didn't, I didn't understand why, but that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? I was more interested in weightlifting than anything, but that's fine. Um, but anyways, that's what happened to me during that time period. It was very difficult to put on size, very difficult to put on weight, but I was able to do it. I was able to put on size and weight, and during that time period, it was only for a short amount of time. So in that picture, I flattened my stomach a little bit, so it could appear that as though my stomach was flatter than what it actually was. Cause if I wasn't flexing, you would see my stomach pop all the way out. You know what I'm saying? And I remember my stomach. I had a big gut. You know what I'm saying? So if I was flexing a little bit. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't if I would just released it, you would have seen you would have seen a lot of stomach. You know what I'm saying? You would have seen my stomach come out. You know what I'm saying? And so, that's what happened. My stomach, like, I flattened it on that picture. You know what I'm saying? That's what I did. You know what I'm saying? I didn't edit it or do anything to that picture. I flattened it. I brought it inside a little bit and then flattened it so you could see how I looked. So that's how I looked when I was during the short time of bulking. And it's very hard to see the picture because everything was so shadowy. You know what I'm saying? And I took the picture over there. You know what I'm saying? Right there behind that wall. I don't know if y'all can see me pointing. Y'all can't see it, but it's right behind that wall right there. Um, I took the picture over there where my mirror was. You know what I'm saying, or is. I took the picture over there, and and it was very difficult. You know what I'm saying. And so what I did was I was afraid to lose my abs, and so what I did was I took prune juice, you know what I'm saying, and what I did was I relieved myself and I pooped all that mess out. Every bit of it came out of me, you know what I'm saying? A lot of it came out of me, and I got back down to my original size, which was 135, you know what I'm saying? And so that's how I lost all my weight. And so prune juice works, you know what I'm saying? Because I was getting scared because I couldn't poop, you know what I'm saying? It was very hard because I told myself to hold it in, and after I hold it in, I couldn't poop at all. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't relieve myself of the waste. And so what I did was I took prune juice and relieved myself. You know what I'm saying? And I felt so much better after that. I cleaned myself. You know, I cleaned the insides and I relieved myself after that. And so that's what I did on that picture. You know what I'm saying? And so after that, I remained being small all through 2018, all the way to you know what. You know what I'm saying? I'm not allowed to talk about this on my channel. I've seen other people talk about it on my channel, but y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? 2018, 2019, and during 2019, y'all know what happened during that, during 2019 getting into 2020. Y'all know what happened. And so when I started my 2020, you know what I'm saying, I still remained the same size. I was a little bigger though. I was 138, roughly around that size, 135, 138. I was still skinny during that time. And after I graduated, I got even smaller due to a lot of things happening in my life. You know what I'm saying? Which I won't get into too much because one thing I can tell you was that I was going through some things. You know what I'm saying? I was going through a lot of things. I was going through money trouble. I was going through my uncle dying. I was going through many different things happening in my life. You know what I'm saying? And so I really didn't start getting into the gym until after my first year of college. So during the summer of 2022 was when I was first introduced to their gym. You know what I'm saying? My college gym. And so after that, I kept on, lifting weights, getting putting on size or whatever. And as you can see from this picture was actually taken recently. But as you can see from the picture, you know what I'm saying, that I just displayed was um I trained really hard on that picture. It was very difficult, very hard. It was I just yeah. So it took me a year to look like that. You know what I'm saying? My shoulders were all broad. You know what I'm saying? I was very muscular on that picture. I was wearing my gray taint or whatever, perfect lighting. You know what I'm saying? Everything's perfect. The only thing I didn't like about the picture was that it was blurry. And some of the other picture, not the other two, but the other picture before that one, it was also blurry. But that's why you couldn't see my arms very well. But my arms were actually bigger on that picture than what they were. But on this picture, my arms were getting bigger. You know what I'm saying? As y'all can see, my arms were starting to get bigger. My shoulders were getting broader, and I worked on my I did a lot of deadlifts too. So that's part of the reason why my shoulders got why my lat not my lats my traps got bigger. You know what I'm saying? And so everything, it widened. My traps widened and pushed all this outward with my shoulders. You know what I'm saying? And so everything was being pushed. And y'all can see my muscles coming in those pictures as well. And so I was doing during on that picture, I was bench pressing around 135, 145, somewhere around there. I was bench pressing, those weights. And it was very difficult when I first started out, bench pressing 135 because I couldn't bench press 135. So what I did was I went back and I started bench pressing 115. You know what I'm saying? And so after I was done bench pressing 115, then I started back at 135. And then from 135, I started bench pressing, 145. You know what I'm saying? And up. I started going up and slowly building on muscle. You know what I'm saying? So I started bench pressing 135 and 145, you know what I'm saying? And so after a while of doing all that, you know what I'm saying? I'm currently bench pressing 165 right now. That's what I'm bench pressing right now. I didn't get a chance to show y'all that video, but that's actually what I'm bench pressing right now. I'm actually bench pressing 165, and y'all gonna see that on Instagram and Snapchat. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna actually see me bench press 165, 155, 165. One of those. You're gonna see me bench press one of those. And and that was no joke. You know what I'm saying? I bench pressed those, and those weights are heavy. You know what I'm saying? And so I bench pressed it, and it was I worked really hard to get to that. You know what I'm saying? And so now all I gotta do now is surpass 165, you know what I'm saying? And get to the 200s, you know what I'm saying? But I have to surpass the 100s first because I have to go through all of this and then get to the 200s. And after I'm done with the 200s, then I can get to the 300s and the 400s and the 500s. So my goal is to surpass the 200s or 300s so I could bench press 500 pounds. You know what I'm saying? And so I know it's going to be difficult. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take years. And I think for me, it's going to probably take a decade for me to get to that to bench press 500 pounds. Because by 500 pounds, it takes a lot of work to get to that point. And so for me, I definitely think it's possible that I'll get to 200, after the end of this year. You know what I'm saying? I really do think I'm going to get to 200 pounds. And so currently I'm on 165. And so that was very difficult. You know what I'm saying? It was very difficult. You know what I'm saying? Because I started later lifting weights. I didn't start like everybody else. How everybody else started to lift up weights. But that's kind of a lie though, because I did have a little bit of experience lifting weights when I was a freshman doing wrestling. I did have some experience doing it, but I didn't start really lifting weights until I got into college. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really start getting really serious about, lifting weights until later. And so my main goal, and I know some of y'all are probably going to disagree with me by with me doing this. And I had like some other people disagree with me, but other people will agree. People who will support me will probably agree with me. Some of y'all may probably agree with me. My goal is to get into bodybuilding. You know what I'm saying? That's my main goal. You know what I'm saying? Is to really get into bodybuilding and, put some meat on my arms, put some muscle on my arms, and, and I'm going to try to bulk again, but it's going to be very difficult because this time I'm at a much smaller size. But on that picture that y'all just saw, you know what I'm saying? I was actually on that picture compared to the other picture that I just showed you, the one from when I was a junior. This picture that I just showed you, the one with me wearing gray, I was actually smaller on that picture than I was on the other picture. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all I have to tell you. I was much more. I was smaller than that. The only difference is I was way more muscular. And you could argue and say I was way more muscular on the other picture too, and way more bigger on that picture. But on that picture, the picture I just showed y'all, I was muscular, but I was slender built. You know what I'm saying? On that picture, I'm still slender built now, but I was slender built. Not slender man, not the other guy, but slender built. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. And so the goal for the future is I'm gonna show y'all the bench press I'm doing. And so for the new lifters who are planning on lifting weights and stuff, who are planning on getting big, my best advice for y'all, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna let y'all know something too before I talk about talk to new lifters. My thing is on both of those things, I'm gonna just tell y'all I have never taken steroids at all. I have never taken steroids at all. You know what I'm saying? So my strength increasing was not from me taking steroids. Because it took me a long ass time for me to bench press to get from there within a year. That took me a long ass time for me to get there. That was hard. It wasn't easy at all. So for me, failing at 135, me failing to lift up 135, and me having to start from 115 and go back to 135, and then to get to 145, that was difficult. You know what I'm saying? And that, from here to here, it took me a year. It took me a year to get back to 135, and then from 135, I got to 145. You know what I'm saying? And so I got better at lifting, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm finally at 145, and now I got from 145 to 155, which is a big improvement because I increased the volume of the weight. You know what I'm saying? Because for a while I was working on intensity. You know what I'm saying? I was working on intensity exercises for a while. And so I didn't take steroids at all to get there. However, That's not completely true. You know what I'm saying? Because I took steroids when I was in the hospital years ago, which has nothing to do with me lifting weights now. You know what I'm saying? Because from a year ago, when I was in middle school and I was sick, you know what I'm saying? Some of y'all have seen the fire trucks and stuff come around and got me. Or from people who went to middle school with me, some of y'all remember that the reason why those fire trucks were there was because of me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all may not remember, but the fire trucks came there because I broke out severely bad. I had pimple. I had a whole bunch of. I had a reaction to something. I don't know what it was, but during that time, when I got to the hospital, they gave me steroids and stuff, in capsule forms. And what ended up happening to me was, you know, I ended up healing from that experience, and it kept on happening to me a couple of more times. And so that was the first time I took steroids, okay? And I did not like it. It had a bitter ass taste, and I did not like the taste of taking steroids. So that was the first time I've ever taken steroids, but I never took it to work out. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't like anabolics. It was like medical type steroids. You know what I'm saying? In case you break out. So I didn't take steroids, okay? It took me forever for me to be able to lift weights, okay? It took me forever. And so that's how I looked, okay? And so for me, you know, I was bench pressing some numbers. They were low numbers, like, but eventually I'll be bench pressing higher numbers. And so when y'all start seeing that, it'll all be recorded and it'll be on Instagram and Snapchat. Y'all gonna see that sooner or later. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm gonna eventually become a bodybuilder. Eventually, I'm gonna work on high intensity workouts to put on more muscle on my arms. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm gonna be doing all of that. I'm gonna work on my quads too, because I didn't show y'all. Well, that's a lie. I did show y'all my quads, but if y'all haven't seen my quads, here's the picture right there. You know what I'm saying? That was through a workout that I did with my quads. But yeah, there's the picture of my quads, but we're not on the quads right now. I was showing y'all my body, but yeah. Um but that's how I looked all throughout the years. It was very difficult, very tremendous experience. But my advice to people who are lifting weights: don't take steroids. Okay, do not do it. Um, it's bad for you. And recent studies now, or studies from the past, have said that steroids can cause cardiac arrest, heart attacks. It can cause strokes too, just by taking years of it, overexerting yourself, and having that stuff in your body can cause you to fall into certain illnesses that may cause a bad long-term effect on your body, you know what I'm saying, in the long run. And so my thing is the symptoms of having that, because you're gonna notice this, but you're gonna have red pimples all over your back, all over your chest, and all over your arms, and you don't want that. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to have red pimples all over your physique. You know what I'm saying? And if your traps are too big or whatever, that's another way you could tell somebody's taking steroids too. So if you have red pimples, big traps, and hard nipples and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? And in your boot in your chest start to sag a little bit, like and turn into man boobs or whatever, some kind of way, but you're buff at the same time, then you're on steroids, you know what I'm saying? And so those are the symptoms that you'll have when you're on steroids. But there's other symptoms that I didn't get into, that other fitness YouTubers will tell you that you're gonna have, but if you take that stuff. And so my thing is, don't take anabolics because it's not good. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those people that are telling you not to do it. I'm not doing that crap. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I took it was because I was breaking out years ago, but you know what I'm saying? And I didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't on anabolics. I was on medical steroids. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the reason why I took it, when I was in middle school. You know what I'm saying? I'm not taking it. I'm not taking it now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not taking anabolics or any of that crap. You know what I'm saying? I'm lifting weights. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm doing. And so I'm trying to make it to my full genetic potential for bodybuilding. That's what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take me forever for me to do it, but I'm willing to get there. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to get there and work my ass off to get there. And I think a lot of y'all need to do that too. Y'all just need to find somewhere to start. And everybody has to start somewhere. I started late doing this shit. Most people started when they were younger. You know what I'm saying? When they were way younger doing this. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't have access to a gym. I didn't have access to the weights and stuff, you know what I'm saying, that I have now. But I have access to everything now. And now I can get bigger now and stronger. And now, I can train and work hard to get there. Work on intensity workouts and then slowly do high volume workouts, you know what I'm saying? And build muscle easily and make it work more efficiently. You know what I'm saying? And so my thing is that's what I'm doing. Most of y'all are probably already doing high volume workouts, but I'm doing intensity because intensity is the most important thing when it comes to building muscle. Some bodybuilders may tell you that it doesn't matter, but it fucking matters because if you want to, because how you gonna build strength if you can't even fucking lift a lighter weight? You know what I'm saying? You have to lift a lighter weight first before you can get to the heavier weight. And if you can't even lift the heavier weight, then you sure as hell need to start off with the lighter stuff first. You know what I'm saying? And so that's all I gotta say. But that's my best advice on on training and putting on more muscle and getting the size that you want to get to. And so yeah. But if y'all like this video, please like, subscribe, and share. And let me know if y'all want me to do more videos and stuff like the of this, and do physique updates and show y'all how I'm looking and how things are going. Now, am I gonna show you my shirtless photos of myself? Not yet. Y'all gonna get that very soon when I'm on stage competing. You know what I'm saying? But it won't be until I compete. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, when I finally make it, y'all are gonna see it. Y'all are gonna see everything. You're gonna see my quads, my calf muscles, my arms, my shoulders. You're gonna see everything pop out on stage. You're gonna see my chest and my abs show again. So if I have an 8-pack on stage and big quads, guess what? Just know I worked hard and I didn't take steroids. And I'm doing natural bodybuilding. You know what I'm saying? Some people may not like that, but I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do it no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And so that's all I want to tell y'all. And yeah, man. Peace.